Hello everyone, I'm Vlad Shoots History as always. Forgive the deep noise, but there are several people, there is no polygon, and I can't find a moment of calm to be able to make this video. Regularly, when there is a case of self-defense, whether they are civilians or, for example, police, there is always someone in the comments, whether on YouTube or on Facebook or on other social media, who writes or asks, but why don't they shoot them in the legs? And it's a completely legitimate discussion, because even when it comes to the civil aspect of excessive defense, for example, many suggest shooting them in the legs. In theory, from a legal standpoint, you can demonstrate, in quotes, I shot him in the legs and I didn't mean to kill him. As always in my style, I will try to break down the problem in the simplest terms possible. And I think here, to answer this question of why don't you shoot in the legs, because it's not something that is done and it's not something that is actually taught. We need to take 2 points of view, the aspect, let's say, purely rhythmic, and an aspect that we could call situational, tactical. First of all, to test the first aspect, I want to do a test. I drew on a piece of cardboard 2 legs. I will place my target first at 5 meters, then at 10 meters. In both cases, I will start from a low ready position. When the target moves, I will pull on the pistol and engage the target as quickly as possible. By the way, I'm using, for those who will ask, a Canik TP 9 Elite Combat, and I'm completely falling in love with these pistols. Who would have ever thought this Turkish company, trying to compete with pistols at a slightly lower cost, makes such fantastic products? Indeed, I haven't done a review, but I use it very often for private training, and I'm completely falling in love with it. For the 10-meter version, however, I will load it with 4 shots and all 4 will be fired at the same time. This thing, in theory, with this target approaching me not very fast, we will try to simulate such a situation. An aggressor coming towards us, it is technically possible to shoot them in the legs. Let's find out. Okay, we can start conducting our short experiment. We have a target right now at 5 meters. Then we will try with a target at 10 meters to see if things change a little bit. And let's see. The legs from this distance seem quite large, but I will try to execute 2 shots as slowly as possible, starting from a low, ready position. So let's see. Maybe I can do it, maybe I can't. This is an experiment to see only if it is technically feasible. The answer is probably yes, because it involves hitting a target that is a bit smaller than usual. Okay. This time we changed the target to 10 meters, but as to say, a target that reaches you at 10 meters, maybe it's more time. So this time I have 4 shots. I will only perform 1 test. This time we shoot at the right leg to see if there is a difference. Here we are, after our fire test. So what are the conclusions, first of all, that we can draw regarding the technical aspect? From this side, the left side, we have the test from 5 meters with 2 shots each. There were 3 tests. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 meters, our few, with 5 meters. Aiming intuitively is quite easy. It's very clear. I tried to execute this thing as quickly as possible, and despite this, there was no real time to aim. You align the gun quite instinctively, and this is the case in many defense situations. And I managed to take a grazing shot, missing one from 10 meters. The distance was greater, but I had 4 shots, even though I tried to fire them as quickly as possible. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 missed, 1 grazing, 1 that probably would have broken the attacker's bone. So, to answer the first question, if taking a person's legs who is attacking us is technically possible, the answer is probably yes. In the end, the legs are a target and can be taken. But as you can see, it's not necessarily obvious that by pulling out my gun, this can be done. And here comes into play a whole tactical discussion, actually. Anyone who has, for example, seriously practiced martial arts, or who knows the reality of defense, whether armed or unarmed, already knows what I'm talking about. The concept of shooting but not killing is ridiculous. You defend yourself to defend yourself, period me. Repeatedly, I have found myself studying, for example, attacks made with firearms, defense situations. It's interesting to note that with her, there are, for example, security camera videos that represent these situations. And you see, we conducted this test in an extremely controlled environment. My weapon was loaded. I knew where my target was. I didn't know when it would start because the person next to me set it off. Let's say unexpectedly, in quotes. I didn't exactly tell him to go, but I still saw him moving against me, and quickly, from a low ready position, with the gun, the jacket, I raised it to shoot. This is an entirely ideal situation, and the idea that this situation can be replicated in reality is not knowing reality. The reality of defensive shooting is quite different. Often people find themselves in situations where they must first draw the weapon. Often they find themselves in situations where the aggressor pops out of nowhere. There's no time to think. It's not like at the range where the gun is ready and I can engage my target. Moreover, in situations of anxiety and stress, performance drops dramatically. And in a non-stress situation, even though I hit most of the time, I missed a few times. And I dare not imagine in a stress situation where I have to react in milliseconds to an aggression. Simply relying on a situation where you already have the gun out and training, that is, I will shoot the legs of an aggressor if it happens to me, is ridiculous. You shoot to defend yourself, and you defend yourself by shooting at the center of mass, and you train to shoot at the center of mass. Because we can't know in which tactical aggression situation we might find ourselves. Moreover, shooting at the legs presents other problems. The range here says that in the past, Polish police were trained to shoot at the legs. Most of the time they missed the target, and when they missed, the bullets would ricochet around, and it happened that they killed people. In summary, you don't shoot at the legs because it's difficult, it's ineffective, and it has many more side effects than shooting at the center of mass. The truth is, none of us are John Rambo. It's technically possible, yes, in a controlled environment like a shooting range, but it's like the illusion of doing a strange martial art. And with one finger touch a pressure point to take down a person, it's nonsense. When you fight, you fight. When you shoot. There's no middle ground. Let's not delude ourselves with this concept of shooting at the legs or shooting, but not killing. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I remind you that these videos are made possible by my Patreon, thanks to which I contribute. I manage my finances to regularly access weapons, ammunition, and related items for my videos. So, if you like my content and want to contribute in some way, consider clicking the link in the description that will take you to my Patreon. Thanks to everyone for watching this video, and as always, see you next time.